Yeah, it's all about the money, and it's all about the taxation and things of that nature. There was a period of time where we sent a bunch of our pharmaceutical processing, a bunch of our pharmaceutical manufacturing to Puerto Rico. A lot of that stuff was going on in Puerto Rico, but then what happened is the left came in, some of the liberals there came in, and they just taxed the crap out of them there and made it not profitable anymore for them to continue to do business there. They moved everything overseas to China and India, and that's where we're at now. So it's our tax posture here. We don't have the proper tax incentives to encourage those companies to work here. We have a lot of regulations, a lot of standard operating procedures that bog the process down. It's like everything else in government. It's a massive bureaucracy. And once the bureaucracy gets so big, all it does is consume all of the money that you put into these things. So it costs us a fortune to manufacture these drugs because of the massive bureaucracy we have. We can't get them out in a timely fashion. It takes years and years to get FDA approval for these drugs. And so what we have to do is we have to reform those regulations, which the president's been fantastic about this. That's why our economy's booming right now, because of his deregulation efforts, and that's about to come to our healthcare industry. And when it does, it's going to make these drugs a lot easier to manufacture here, a lot cheaper to manufacture here. They're going to locate in places like Texas, where there's a tax-friendly environment, and they'll flourish here, but we just have to set the stage.
Will the regulatory and the tax environment be enough to help us find not only the drugs that we need, produce them more at home, but address the ever-rising cost of those medications? I mean, obviously, pre-corona, many people, all of us, concerned about the price of drugs. I mean, it's been an issue. It seems to me like if you're going to bring it back to America, you're probably, because you're going to have to pay people more to produce these things, you're probably going to end up possibly paying even more, regardless of what you can do with some things like tax policy. No?
No, you might initially, but I think that honestly, if we can put the regulations in place that allow us to at least produce at a really low cost here in the United States all of the generic drugs, and there's just tons of them out there that have generic forms now. The patents have expired on them. They're available in generic. We need to get that generic process cranking right away, and that'll help out a lot. And then with regards to some of the patent-protected medications and stuff, we're going to have to work with the pharmaceutical companies on how to make that happen. I'm telling you, healthcare is about to be reformed from top to bottom. It's going to include the big healthcare organizations, the big hospital organizations. It's going to include the health insurance industry, and it's going to include the pharmaceutical industry. And they are going to have to take a little bit of a cut in the profits that they're used to make this happen. But the government will help them. I mean, I don't know if we'll have to subsidize it or something, but I'm telling you, it's a national security issue. People worry about, well, if you cut the regulations and stuff, what about the safety of the medications? Well, I submit to you, do you feel safer with the regulations that we have in place now with your medications coming from China and India? Or would you feel safer if we cut some of the regulations here and allowed those drugs to be produced here in the United States? I feel safer if they're made here in the United States.